record.
Okay.
Hi. Good to see you, Pat and Judy. Hi.
You've got a hat on. Is it cold up there?
Oh, well, I was just out walking the dog, and we've been having this wild weather day here of like strong winds and lashing rain, and she hadn't been out for a walk all day, and it was kind of like there wasn't any rain. And so we just went for it, but I got back and I'm a little worried about what my hair's doing underneath my hat. So I might just keep it on.
It's just us. It's just us.
I'm good.
True.
I switched to a baseball hat today.
But
But
is that your like spring is come when
yes,
you switch to your baseball hat?
half and half. But I was nervous when the wind kicked up and blew it away almost.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, there's Linda. Hey, Linda.
Hi. It's 71 degrees here this morning, but it's 50 now. We had a front come through. It dropped 20 degrees in about 15 minutes.
So you're in Alabama, right?
Yes.
Okay, it's coming this way.
It is. It was just a sheet of rain that came. It was just a big downpour.
Well, and I guess maybe like just in time for you to don your Carbeth swan dance for our events.
Yes.
Hi there. Who's our little friend again? I forget her name.
Tell them your name.
Harriet.
Say it louder.
Say
Harriet.
Harriet.
Welcome, Harriet.
Nice to have you on here with us. Oh my goodness, Vicky, what are you wearing?
Oh, this was a knit along in 2020, I think. It's a Malabrigo.
Wow.
I don't know. Here. I'll see all the different colors.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, we had that bad weather too, and it dropped. It's like well, it's 39 now. It was 70 like 2 days ago. So it's cold. Yeah.
Wow. Ooh, Teresa, I see you wearing your Carbeth. Well, Kristen said to be sure to tell everybody, thank you so much for participating in this knit along with us. She's doing the goat Wednesday night knitting group tonight. So that's why she can't be here very often, but she was so happy to see so many happy people. And I think she's going to have her mind blown when she sees our slideshow. She hasn't seen it yet. Got a lot of great pictures from people. That was awesome.
How many of us were there that participated in this knit along?
Almost 200.
That's what I remember you saying. That's hard to imagine. 200 deaths out there.
I know. And then, we don't know who will end up doing it later, but so many Carbeths, and like, we've seen a couple people that are knitting more than one because it's such a fun knit. So
right, I'm starting my second one.
I'm going to do that too as soon as we finish our first of the next knit along. Then I'm going to start.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Iris, tell us about your yarn again. It's gorgeous.
This here?
Yes.
This is the Eco Tweed Chunky by Ella Ray. The lighting in here is not like the best, but
it looks wonderful.
It's called Tide, and I believe it's the same color that Gwen, who's on here, camera's off right now, used for hers, and it's such a nice, you've got your little bits of like some tweedy flecks. Really a nice yarn to work with.
Is it warm?
It is, and you know, it's very visually, it appears quite similar to La Pampa by Juniper Moon Farm, which I believe is what Linda has. Yep. And I've worked with both yarns, and I have to say, like, this yarn is a little softer than the La Pampa. When I was making my Ramona out of the La Pampa, it was a little hard on my hands. It's
is
pretty
hard
hard.
on your hands, and it's splitty to me. It's
Mm.
you know, it's I like it after it's done, but it was hard on my hands.
It's interesting. And this one looked so similar, and I was like, I wonder, but it's got a little bit of acrylic in it, and it is organic merino. So I don't, the two of those I think contributed, and I didn't find it splitty either. So
That was
So I bought
Who was it
Eco
by?
Tweed. Eco
By-
Tweed by Eco Tweed Chunky by Ella Ray.
Oh, chunky. Okay.
I bought this, not this particular yarn, but La Pampa in a different color to make this pattern called a Capo, C-A-P-O, and it's kind of a poncho-y thing some years ago. And I started it and I hated it. And so I just undid it, wound it up, and put it back in the bag. Of course, I forgot I had it, or I could have used it for this, but I think I'm going to give the Capo a try again after doing this. I like the pattern. I wasn't happy with the way the yarn did or something, maybe, you know, different gauge or something.
Well, share the pattern, because I'm always looking for a great cape pattern.
Is the Capo also by Elizabeth Smith, Linda?
It is. And it's short, and it has these long, what do you call them? It's not sleeves, but they just come like this. And it's kind of just this drapey thing. It's not really a cape. It's more like a
poncho.
I'm gonna pull it up right now, and I will share my screen so you all can see it, because
I don't know how to describe. It's a cute thing.
It's cute, but it's different. So hang on, let's see if I can find this. Here it is. Okay.
Oh.
So it's kind of neat because of this little detailing around the sleeve, and then how it's, yeah, and of course you can make it longer if you prefer. But I kind of love that little sleeve detail.
I do too.
Yeah.
So, you know, I did the I-cord on my swan dance. I'm not really happy with it, how it turned out. Let's see if I can. It's kind of pointed like that too, see?
Yes. Yeah, I remember you talked about wanting to do that on one of our Zooms, and I like it.
It's just the sleeve should have been just a little bit shorter, I think, for it to get, you know, I have to pull it up under my armpit, but anyway, I'm pretty happy.
It's beautiful.
Pretty color. Nice color.
Thank you.
It is very pretty.
Well, it's so nice to see so many good faces on here, and yeah, exciting. So are we ready? Should we do a slideshow? Usually we watch it twice too, because the first time you just have to take it all in, and then the second time. So let's see.
I need to leave early, so I'm glad to see it early. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, so let me try to do this screen share one more time, and we'll get over to iMovie. And I'll put this is going to go live on YouTube, but you guys are going to get the exclusive premiere showing right now. So let's see what I can do to minimize all my little crazy windows. And here we go. All right, so.
That's a pretty color.
Oh, those pretty faces. So proud of themselves.
And as well, they should be.
They should be. Absolutely. What a
Beautiful. Beautiful.
great job, everybody. I love that one.
That's beautiful.
That yarn.
Yeah.
Very outdoorsy.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I like the neck on that
I
list.
do too. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Getting there.
Nice.
Nice, Beth.
Yeah, I like that.
It's funny how they're all the same sweater, but so different with each color choice of yarn.
Yes, absolutely. Look at that.
Oh, that's
Love-
beautiful.
I just love the carp, Beth. It just is so unique. Fantastic.
It's also interesting how different it looks in a mottled or a marled variegated as opposed to a solid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always afraid to try those yarns because I don't know how they're going to match skein to skein. That one's pretty. They're all pretty.
Yeah, I like that color.
Oh, what Yorkshire Spinner?
Ooh.
That's the cut. That's one I made.
I love the buttons.
Oh, fun buttons.
Hey, Judy.
Judy.
Looks great.
I made it.
Good, good.
Teresa.
Yes.
That's beautiful too.
Good job.
Thank you. That's my second one.
That's your second
Oh,
one. Oh my goodness.
wow. Good girl.
Finished it Monday night.
Oh, look at that.
Pretty, yeah.
Oh, I like
Nice.
the pockets.
Nice.
Pat, I think yours turned out really pretty too. I love
Yeah,
that
So
color.
nice.
I like
Thank
the color.
you.
The buttons look so
love the
nice on
Oh,
that.
look.
too.
All right,
Wow.
here is.
Oh, Iris, I love that.
Are you wearing a knitted skirt?
Yes.
I love the
There's
color
a
of
story
this
about it.
sweater.
I'll tell
Both
you
of
in a
those.
minute.
Good
Oh,
job.
wow, look at
Oh,
that.
look at this.
Wow.
Nice job.
Gorgeous.
Fabulous. See, I love a sweater you can just wear outside without having to put your gloves on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I do too.
That's a very beautiful color.
That's pretty too.
Mhm.
She's a cute girl. Is she one of the locals?
Yeah, she is.
And she
That's
can wear
nice.
really fun colors.
Mhm. Yay,
Nice,
Teresa.
Nice.
Teresa.
I like that.
I like that too.
Pretty.
yeah.
Nice job.
Beautiful color.
Yep.
Nice. I go to.
Wow.
There you go, Linda.
How do you let?
I like that.
Mm.
That's pretty. I might try one of those variegateds one of these
Yay,
days.
Mary Ellen.
Mary Ellen.
Very pretty.
Ooh, pretty color. Beautiful job.
That's terrific.
Mhm.
Oh, that was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Nice job on that.
yeah, should we just watch it right again, or do we want to chat a little
yes.
bit?
One more time. One more time.
We'll just watch it right again. It's always like, I'm always like, is it, all right, because we can stare at each other's sweaters the whole time, but then I always think, is the person whose sweater this is going to feel awkward because we're looking at them for 10 seconds on the screen? So it's 6 seconds. Maybe that's still too short, but anyway, here we go again. Okay, here we go again. Okay,
There we go.
there we go. Yep.
Recording in progress.
Ready? Pretty.
So this one, she held 2 strands of the Patagonia together for that effect.
I
Wow.
wondered what she had done.
Mm-hmm.
There.
Love that one.
I love the color of that one.
Mm.
That's nice and earthy too.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
just, that really, it fits her so well.
Mhm.
And I love that neck. Good
Yeah.
job. on both
Yeah.
I
of
like
them.
that people did different things with the
Yes,
neck too.
yes, whatever
Not
works for
everybody
your
wanted
neck.
that big
Mhm.
doubled over collar.
And she said she hadn't put the buttons on yet, but she had to get the picture out to us.
Good job.
Okay.
I love
Still
the
needs
yarn on this
blocking
one.
too.
Looks soft. Beautiful.
Mm.
Lucy
love
did
both
one
of
of
those.
each.
Yeah.
And Beth Ann did too, and I didn't grab her in time on knitting group on Monday to get her picture of her second one. Nice, Vicky.
Thank you.
Very nice. It looks warm. Everybody that did the cardigans did such a good job.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I like those.
And I do love a sweater that you can just go out on a winter day with a sweater on and
Yeah.
not a big bulky jacket and
Yes.
you go out
Exactly.
for your walk.
Yep.
Okay, we just have to stop this right here. Let's pause
Yeah, look
this.
at those
Look
buttons.
at this amazing.
Look at the
Linda
buttons.
is a glass artist, and she made these
Oh.
buttons.
Oh, really?
So cool.
You're beautiful.
And
Yeah,
I'm
especially
so
with
impressed.
this Sweeto, where it had so many fun flecks of different colors, it just was perfect.
That's
Okay,
beautiful.
sorry, just had to interrupt there.
She
I'm
might
glad
have
you
felt them.
did. Give her
Absolutely.
high fives from all of us.
Yeah.
Mm. I love Judy. This is so great. This picture's awesome.
That's a great picture of you, Judy.
It's such a good picture.
This
Yay.
It's a happy picture.
Mm-hmm.
And yours too, Teresa.
You did a
Thank
good
you.
job on that backside, Teresa. Looks great.
Thanks.
I love this color.
Yeah.
I'm
Is that-
impressed with the pocket.
There's a
I
pocket
know,
on
I
that
love
one.
the pockets.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty color too. It looks good on her.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Pat, did you used to be a local goat?
No. Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
You just look like somebody I know from the Camden area.
Oh, okay. Nope. I love this, the way the
Yeah.
Yeah.
stripes go.
That's pretty.
Gosh.
Well, and the
So
way the color
wild.
worked out over the shoulders, that's really
Yeah,
Yes.
cool.
just astounding.
And Kelly was the one who bravely cut her sweater and grafted
Oh.
it together because it
Oh.
was too
Oh, wow.
long.
Good job. And she got hers done quickly. Her picture
Mhm.
was early on.
And Isla did too. She was an early finisher. Teresa, that's so pretty.
Beautiful.
I love that
color
on
on
you,
her.
Teresa.
And this beautiful spring green of polys.
Yeah.
Yay.
I love that. Now, did she fold this collar over twice? Looks like she did, didn't she?
Yeah, in the front. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah. Pretty color, Mary Ellen.
So pretty.
Mhm.
That is too. That's just really glowy.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Hooray and congratulations to everybody.
Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you for leading us along.
Yes. There is,
Yeah.
okay, if I just show mine, because I've been
Yes.
think the last couple days profusely trying to get to certain
Oh,
points.
bless you.
Yes. Hold
See
on
it.
1 second because I'm like, you know, sometimes you stop screen sharing and you're like, where the heck did everybody go? I have to. So give me a second to get back in business here. All right. Okay. Now I got it. Oh, whew, I lost you for a minute. Okay, yes. Arena, let me spotlight you so we can see this beautiful sweater.
Oh,
Oh my
pretty.
goodness.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Irina, I can't believe that's your first sweater ever.
Your
It
first
is my very
sweater.
You
Wow.
are doing
I'm
such a
late.
beautiful job.
Oh my goodness.
So I am doing the yoke. I'm, as you can see, I'm doing my decreases right here. So, and I finished the sleeves. I did block the body just to get, because it was curling a lot. So,
Mhm.
before I I put them together, I blocked the body, but that's kind of where I'm at. So,
Gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
Pretty.
Very nice.
Thank
Irina,
you.
I'm at right about the same place you are. I actually just frogged mine back a little bit because I
Okay.
had asked a question on the Facebook page about some people had been getting some laddering when they were doing the
Mhm.
seams. So I was giving it that little tug. That worked. But I'm knitting with some stash yarn of mine, and it's just an old-fashioned woolen. It's kind of grippy. It's a very
Mhm.
fuzzy kind of old-fashioned wool yarn. It doesn't slide easily. And I don't do a lot of knitting flat back and forth. I usually knit in the round, but I've never really had problem with my gauge before. But I was, my body is fine. It's got a little bit of unevenness, but I was, just not going to worry about it, block it, and I'm sure it'll be fine. But the higher up I got doing my decrease rows on the yoke, the more I was having trouble with my purl side stitches being really tight and my knit side stitches being really loose to the point almost where I was getting stripes. So I've just frogged back, and I would love to know if anybody has some advice for me.
But you're
I
saying you're
want to ask. Sorry, go ahead, Arena.
I was just surprised because typically the purl stitches are the ones that are looser than the knit stitches, but you're saying
Yeah.
it's the round.
But it's the other way around to the point where I was having trouble sliding my purl stitches onto, I have it on cables. I'm not knitting in the round. I'm doing the cardigan, so it's flat.
Mhm.
And I had it on the longest cable I have, but I don't know if it's just the bulky weight of the garment as it gets bigger, or some yarns are kind of more tiring to work in your hands.
Yes.
But I really, and I tried just sort of redistributing stitches and pulling on it a little bit, and I wasn't happy with it. So I just sat here and frogged it.
Okay, well, one question I have, but then I want to turn it over to some of the other cardigan knitters. But has anybody here ever tried if you've noticed something like that, have you ever tried changing needle side on your knit to your purl side?
Oh.
Well, I was thinking about maybe trying to do that, and then I wasn't brave enough. Whether I was really gonna mess it up.
I have
So
heard
you're
a lot of
saying,
people do that.
so Iris, you're saying knit with one size needle and knit with a different size needle on the purl side?
I mean, that was just a silly little idea that popped into my head in terms of if you're really noticing that much of a different experience for whatever reason, whether it's the yarn,
Go
it's
down a
knitting
size
flat.
for my rows that are looser, and go up a size for my rows that are tighter.
And what about anybody else with the cardigan? Did you find laddering issues as well?
I didn't.
I did not.
No, I didn't.
Give it
I
a
for
little
sure
tug when
had
you do the
laddering.
decrease. That really took care of the laddering. But I don't know. I don't usually have trouble moving stitches along. I'm a continental knitter, and it usually just kind of slides right along my cables, but I don't know.
And where is the laddering? I didn't quite understand the laddering. I'm sorry.
Along the decrease line. So I mean, you can't see it on mine because I fixed it, but that's where, and for me personally, I was having more laddering on my slip knits than on my knit two togethers.
I did too. Yeah.
What is laddering? I'm sorry. I'm not quite sure what it would look like.
It looks like ladders, so that's that.
It's loose.
But it's loose. It's like, and so on the nice seam of the sweater, what you want to be seeing is it's a nice neat seam. And I use the Patty Lyons one move slip knit technique, which was helpful for making my slip knit neater But then what was happening, and I think this was maybe more to do with, to me, I wondered if it was something that was like a Carbeth related thing, as I was transitioning off of the sleeve with the different stitchy stuff that was happening with the Carbeth to then the decrease was there just, and so I just had to get a little bit more thoughtful about my tension and yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if Irina, you know, what laddering looks like is, so when you've got your rows of stitches, so your stockinette stitch.
Okay.
If you pull it apart a little bit, you can see the bars between the stitches. What happens with laddering is, instead of laying nice and neat near each other, like so, you'll get, it's when you're a beginner on double pointed needles. I think it happens a lot when you're transitioning from one needle to the next, but you'll get where the space between the stitches, where you see that little ladder of in between, will show.
It gets too loose, and
it gets too loose in between. So it would look more like something like this than if you were just having nice.
The stitches are too loose. Yeah, I understand. I get it now. I understand. Thank you for explaining.
Thanks, Brenda.
Yeah.
And the fix for that is just tension control, or
tightening?
It's tension control, and so giving a little bit of an extra tug, not just on the actual decrease stitch, but I usually also pay attention to the one right after it as well. I've read that is the place to actually gives more adjustment than just cranking down on the one that
Okay, and I tend to do, like, when I do the ribbing, and I read in Patty Lyon's book, but I also watched Suzanne O'Brien's video on that. In the ribbing, sometimes in a 2x2 ribbing, the second knit row before the first purl row can get bigger than the first knit column. And what she was explaining is that it's because the first purl row, the first purl column can get looser, and then that looseness exaggerates the knit stitch before it. And what Brian was suggesting for that is to pull to when you put the needle into the purl stitch before you purl it, to tug on the working yarn and tighten it. And so I've been doing that on all my ribbings, and so far they're coming, at least on the right side, they're coming out nice. On the wrong side, I'm having a problem. But since I'm not, since I decided not to twist my cuffs, not to double my cuffs, I'm gonna be all right. So it sounds like it's a similar suggestion that you're making for the ladders, is to tighten the working yarn before doing the next stitch after the crease, right?
Yep.
I also wanted to find out, because since it's our last event, and I have only made it now 2 decreases, in that last area in the instructions, after all the decreases are done, where she says follow instructions for your size as following, and then it sounds like it's going to be the last row of decreases, and then she says next row right-sided, knit decreasing 17 stitches evenly with K2 together across row, 70 stitches remaining. What does she mean by that? Does she mean like it's going to be the very last row before you pretty much get ready for breaking yarn? Does that mean every 2 stitches will be knitting 2 together, or what does that mean? It's hard to imagine without getting to that stage.
So can you just, I don't have that pattern in front of me, but so what we're looking at is, this is right before the collar, or is it right before you bind off?
Right here. It's right here.
She needs to get to 70 stitches. So
right.
Yeah, right here. It's in the last, you can see. So right now this is, see, it says, I'm sorry.
It's sleeves.
No, it's not. It's the work the body. It says
Join the body.
Body and sleeves into yoke. And then it says do the decreases. So the decreases, Oh, you know what? I have to move it. Sorry about that. Do the decrease. So here it says follow the so this is all the decreases. Repeat steps C and D until stitches remain. And then once 2 stitches remain everywhere, it says follow instructions for your size as follows. So I'm second size. So it says next row on the wrong side, we're doing the decreases, the last row of decreases. And then that's our last decrease row. But then on the right side, now she wants us to do 17. I'm the second size. So she says 17 need decreasing 17 stitches evenly with K2 together across row. And after that, there'll be 70 stitches remaining. Then we purl and then we move the 70 stitches to the neckline. Basically, that's so at the very end is it's at the very end, once all the decreases are over, she wants to do this row of decreasing and then the purl and then move to the neckline.
I would count, how I would go about that is I would count how many stitches I have in that last row. Okay. I need to hopefully decrease by that number by 17 and end up with 70. But what she's asking me to do
so you're saying is we need to reduce it by 17.
We need to reduce the number by 17, and hopefully that gives you 70 stitches. So you should have 87 minus 17.
Just decrease till you have 70.
And if you don't, just use a knit 2 together to decrease till you get 70 stitches. But what I think she's asking you to do is you want to distribute those knit 2 togethers evenly across that row.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just involves some counting, I think.
No, very helpful because I didn't understand what she meant by this, but now I understand. What you're basically saying is you're going to have a certain number of stitches, probably 87 in this case, right? As you said.
Yeah.
Then you need to decrease by 17 and you need to calculate so that you use K2 together across the board to decrease. And you do that.
And you just distribute those evenly.
Right.
Yeah.
As you go.
Okay, I got it. Thank you so much. That's very helpful.
Pattern writers, people have different styles for writing patterns. And it takes a while to sort of be able to read different people's language. It's not always uniform.
Because I have a really cool tool I want to pop into the chat for people. Does anybody know about the World Knitting Calculator site?
No.
Oh.
So I don't know if it will, because it's clearly like you have to sort of take it with a grain of salt, but it's an interesting way that if you need to do evenly spaced decreases and you don't want to do your own math, you can plug some stuff in, and the same thing can be said for increases as well. There's sort of, if you scroll down, so this link is in the chat, and then if you click on it, I'll also put it below the video when I post it to YouTube, but it's kind of cool because you can enter in the number of stitches that you start with and the number of stitches that you're supposed to end up with, and then it will come up with the scheme, right? That's like, well, you're gonna knit 3 and then knit 2 together all the way, whatever it is. So anyway,
that's very cool. I found one for knitting socks. So when you're doing the heel, you can tells you how to do your short rows, how many. I always have a problem with that one. And that's cool. I leave it active on my phone all the time.
A lot of very clever people out there, for sure, in these tools. And Irina, I don't know if you
individuals. I wanted to ask Teresa when she did her 2 sweaters. Did you increase your size on the second one? Because you said you just kind of jumped into the brown one and then.
Yes. And I have my other one here. I'm going to pop it on now. I haven't put it on since it blocked. I was going to wear it, but it's still a little damp and I don't want to sit in a damp sweater. but this is a bigger size. So I'm going to pop it on and we'll see what it looks like.
So this is the world debut of Teresa's sweater too. So we can
I like the brown one though.
I like both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. There are colors that look really good on her too.
Very exciting.
I actually made a few mistakes on this one and I just let him go.
Very good.
Good for you. Yeah.
Here we go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let me spotlight you so we can all get a good look.
Very nice.
Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
very
I
nice.
love it.
So this
Very
one is a little bit looser. There's
Yeah.
definitely more ease on this one. It's not as, the other one's a little more form-fitting.
Different
So what
yarn?
size did you go with?
So the first one I was a size 2, this was a size 3.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
So
Yeah,
what do you think?
Beautiful.
I
Good.
love it.
Because I like the first one too.
Yeah, I like them both.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like them both. I like the way the colors look, and
Mhm.
my husband said that the brown one, he said he thinks that looks a little more formal because it's more form-fitting, more stylish, I think is what he said.
Mhm.
This one a little more casual, he said, because
Yeah.
it's bigger.
Yeah.
I don't know, that was just his take on it, but
So what yarn did you use?
this is the
fleece BFL.
yeah,
Did you hold
BFL
it-
fleece.
Did
West
you hold
Yorkshire
it
spinner.
double or is it just single?
No, this is double. It's held double.
Awesome.
It's the same yarn that you used. It's except this is one of the
Oh.
naturals
These are
colors,
the
I think.
yeah, these are the
perfect.
naturals.
Oh, you're gonna love it. So nice and warm. I love it held double because it really adds thickness to it.
Yeah. It's actually a little drier than I thought. Maybe I'll leave it on for a while.
It looks great.
It
looks so good.
beautiful.
Thanks. I made a few mistakes. I realized I was talking to Gwen the other night and I had an extra stitch on the sleeve.
Oh.
And I wasn't going to go back and do anything, right? So I tucked it in underneath here somewhere, right? Did it, knit 2 together.
Right.
Did my decreasing. And I really wasn't sure to stitch over here. So
you needed it after all.
I did. So I ended up with, instead of the 2 you're supposed to have, I had 3.
Oh, well.
So I did this other weird little thing and I put it on the back of the sweater. So that's the back of the sweater where it doesn't quite cross quite right. But if somebody wants to come and look at the back of my back up close, I can just smack them. It's not hard to do.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's what
There you
Iris
go.
terms shenanigans. You just had a few
Mm.
little shenanigans putting it together.
Oh, goodness.
But I'm really happy with it. And with the rest of my yarn, I'm working on a hat.
Good for
Oh,
you. All right.
Awesome.
But in the
So
end, you
good.
really in the end, when you're done decreasing, you just have one stitch, right? In between, like
Yes, when you're, well, you kind of know where you are at the end when you have 2 in between your stitches, your stitch markers. And then you do that final decrease. That was how the directions read.
exactly.
But when I got to the 2 between the stitches, on one side I had 2 and on the other I had 3.
Okay, that's what you were talking about. Okay, great. So that's in the row before the final row. Okay, great.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Iris, were you asking me some sort of a question before, or somebody was? For some reason, I heard my name. No? Okay.
I don't know.
So tell us about your knitted skirt.
Oh, the knitted skirt is such a good story. So, one of our knitters, our local goats, Kathleen, she came into knitting group one day and she was like, Iris, I have something that I think might work for you, but no pressure. It's something I made and it just doesn't quite work for me. And it was this adorable knitted skirt and it happened to like go great with what I was wearing. I had my Carbeth, I had some fun leggings on, and I just took off the skirt I was wearing in the back room and put this knitted skirt on, and it felt like I'd made it for myself, but Kathleen made it for me. And she was so happy, and it's a great color, and she was delighted. And then I was home and it was like in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, I'm gonna like write a nice note to Kathleen and that'll be great. And then I'm in my closet and my eye landed on this sweater that I'd made a few years ago. It's the February lady sweater. And I sort of, it's over in the corner of my closet because, you know, I just outgrew it. I was smaller when I made it, and that just sometimes happens. And every time I would like put it on, like, is this gonna feel good today? And it was always like, oh, I know it's just a little too, I feel too busty, whatever. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, I think that might be perfect for Kathleen. And so I brought it into the shop. And when I saw Kathleen, I was like, listen, I didn't, you know, like, I don't want you to think that I went home and rated my sweaters. I literally, this is something that just doesn't feel like it works for me anymore. And I think it could be perfect on you. And it was. And then it got even crazier because the next time she came in, she's like, okay, we're not going to make a habit of this, but here's this cool vest. And it was this really amazing, warm, chunky vest. I mean, really like super bulky, just again, a beautiful color. And she's like, you know, it just doesn't feel like it works for me. I put it on. It was like, I made it for myself, but there it was. Kathleen made it for me. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then the next day I'm like in my closet, I'm like, oh, there's that vest I made. And it was the Pineland vest by Elizabeth Smith, who, I mean, we love her. And I liked the vest, but even at the time that I knit it, I was sort of like, ooh, probably should have gone one size up, because it's this really cool, like asymmetrical, cool collar. And it's just got a very simple sort of, not lace, almost like mesh looking. It's a cool texture. And whenever I'd wear it, I would kind of always feel like one part of my chest was sort of just hanging out. I don't mean, you know, with the shirt on underneath, of course, but I just never felt like, oh, yeah. And sure enough, it's perfect for Kathleen. So we've now had 2 trades, and that's a happy story of.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's great.
Super sweet.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
Ladies, I have to jump off, but I just wanted to say how much I enjoyed this whole experience. It was just Chicago. So so thank you, Iris. Thanks to everyone here for all your advice and for getting me to start knitting sweaters. So that was
It's been such a pleasure to have you with us, Irina. And I think we've all really loved your dedication and your questions and your beautiful product that you're making. But please, if you have questions as you're moving forward, you have my email, so just pop them my way. And if I don't know, I'll just reach out to one of these ladies here on the Zoom for you.
Wonderful. Thank you for that offer. I really appreciate it. I'm sure I'll take you up on it. So, okay, thanks so much, and have a good evening.
You too.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. And Iris, I have to jump off too. I have a meeting at 6 I have to get to, but I finally finished my Scudic Bay.
Oh wow! Let me spotlight you. Oh
my goodness!
Dark,
very nice.
so it's hard to see. It's not. I haven't blocked it yet. I just finished it this evening. So hallelujah! That one's finished. I can safely move on to our next knit along, guilt free.
I love it. And that's the fleece. That was that beautiful slate gray fleece BFL, right?
Yes, it's the same as this. It's fleece. Yes, the same. Spinners. So I'm.
And if you decide it doesn't work for you, I'm sure that one of us would be happy to trade.
We might be able to work a trade. I see that in the works here.
Hey, I have to put a pitch in for barber
job.
I have to put a pitch in for barber cords. If you guys have not discovered barber cords, I just frogged out a whole bunch of this, and what I did was frog back to just almost where I want to be, and I've got a barber cord stuck on the end of a number 2 double pointed needle.
Good girl.
And I'm just
do it.
Working my last row of frogging by, sort of pinking one stitch at a time and slipping it onto my barber cord. And oh my goodness. There's much less tears with ripping out when you use these things.
I think it is such a good invention that I wish I had thought of myself. And I think it's so
simple.
So darn simple. And it's sort of the thing that we didn't think we needed until now we have it. And it's like, wow,
I have 2 sets and I want another. So my Scudic Bay story is I ripped mine out and wound the yarn up because I just didn't think the pattern showed well with the yarn that I chose. And so then when you had the sale, I bought the yarn that I really wanted in the first place. So I got the on the round, and so I'm going to start my Scudic Bay all over again with different yarn.
And what color on the round? I can't remember.
Latte.
Latte.
Yep. You know, there was not much quantity of anything that, you know, I just pondered and pondered. I mean, it was terrible. But I bought, to do the Scudic Bay, the first time I bought Noro, I think it's called Kakagori. Kakagori. And it's just so modeled that the pattern just didn't show up. And then it was sort of a waste of the yarn too, you know. So I started another pattern called the Sunshine. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember the name of it for some reason. Anyway, just a simple t-shirt. And I've made a mistake in it that I can't find. And so I'm taking it out and starting over again. I mean, I'm going to wear this yarn out. I mean, it's terrible. So I put that aside and I'm going to start the next knit along. Small
Sometimes
project.
you just need a break.
I need a break.
I can tell you that the latte is so beautiful in the Scudic Bay. I think there was one knitter locally who used that color for her Scudic, and it was just dreamy.
I'm dying to start it. I mean, I'm dying to, but I'm not. I'm going to finish these other things I've got before I start. You know, it's in the pile here.
Can I ask Linda a question?
Yes.
She had mentioned, I believe she had mentioned a hat that she uses quite often. Maybe I'm mistaken. Did you mention
that might have been Teresa?
Maybe it was Teresa. It's just that whatever the pattern was, I went to look for it and it was out of print, it looked like.
It was with
oh, it was Teresa. That's right.
It was a wool folk.
Yes.
Wool folk yarn. Cabo, Habo.
Yeah, I think it's out of print.
Really?
On Ravelry. Wool folk.
I wonder if you can get it from them.
I'm pretty sure I ordered it from them.
Okay, so you could maybe just order it from them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got it from them, and you know, you just, you know, same kind of thing that happens. They give you the email with it and the download and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Pretty sure I got it through them because I found this yarn at a yarn shop and it was beautiful. And I was like, what do I make with it?
I just put it in the chat link, the Nabo.
Okay,
it's really a nice, it's a nice hat, and you get that vertical striping effect by slipping. You slip the stitch.
Cool.
So you're only working one color at a time. So it does a little,
Very
it goes, the first few ones I did, that was a little slow just because you're doing, it takes 2 rounds to do 1 row. But, you know, once you get the hang of it, it goes.
Thank you.
Anybody want to tell us what they're working on tonight?
Well, I just emailed you a couple photos. I don't know if did you see them?
Let me see. Oh, yes, I see this. Oh, look at that in the black. Let me download it and then maybe I can share it if that's okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
I thought that.
Ooh, I love your sleeves. Oh my God, that looks so good. Hold on 1 second. Oh.
While we're waiting, Doris, do you spin?
No.
Strictly
But I do love that
decoration.
wheel. I do love that wheel. No.
It's a beautiful one.
Thank you. I braid rugs.
Oh, that'll do.
I turn wood. I do all kinds of things.
All right, so here is Meg's Carbeth.
Oh my.
Okay, but that one is actually doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, oh
Um,
wow.
I
Okay.
tried it right at that point. I tried it on and the sleeves were just too tight.
Oh,
So
no.
what I ended up doing was I went up a needle size and down a pattern size. And I think what I was
Oh.
doing, I think I was making the twisted stitches too tightly, and that was just pulling the sleeves in too snug. So
Okay.
I also sent that other picture that had the two sleeves, like the difference
Yes.
between.
I'm going to open that next.
And it made a big difference. I think I probably could have just kept the size I used in the beginning if I had realized I was making those stitches too tightly, but
Gotcha.
I think it'll end up being the same width
Oh, yeah.
around the body.
Wow.
Big
Yeah.
difference.
Nice.
So, and I was even on the first sleeve where they were tighter, I felt like they looked so much smaller than like the example photos. So I
I
think
like
that's
them in that color. I think it's different yarn, yes, or is it just different lighting?
no, that's the same yarn. I think
It's the same
the
yarn.
lighting's just
The
weird.
lighting. I love the
Yeah.
definition.
I think the
Yeah.
definition's really good with that color. It's just
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's going to be so,
right
so
now
pretty.
I've re-knitted the body and both of the sleeves, and I need to join them back together and then try it again and see. Hopefully the sleeves feel a lot. I mean, you can see how much bigger they are.
Yeah.
No, they
So-
look good.
And
So-
gauge wise, were you, how was it like, how was your gauge the first go round? Just when you did your
I mean,
swatch or
in
whatever?
stockinette, I felt like the gauge was fine, but the gauge just got too tight on the sleeves, knitting in the round. And then I think I was just pulling the twisted stitches too tightly because I was finding a little bit of a gap at the top of the diamond. And so I think I was trying to get that to close more.
Yeah.
But it was just making the sleeve really small.
Yeah.
But it's
Also,
okay.
I admire,
it's chunky
I
yarn, so
it definitely. And I'm always like loving when I see people who have a little system for keeping track of where they are. That makes my heart happy.
Me too.
the
That's
video, I
good.
would have been totally lost with the whole chart tracing if I hadn't watched the video you put out. Because I was looking at that and I was like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. But it was the first time I read a chart like that. So
yeah, and it's not like a easy intro chart. It's a pretty, I would say, advanced level. So kudos.
I think like watching the video, and I used I ended up getting a magnet to put underneath my chart to move as I was working. And
I
mean, it felt easy after
magnet.
watching the video. If I hadn't watched the video, I wouldn't have known what to do at all.
Yay. That's good news. Good to hear. It's
Was
beautiful.
it hard working on is it black?
Yeah, it is. It's
'Cause
definitely
I did
easier to work
socks
on.
and,
It's fine to work on in the daytime, but at night it's a little tricky.
yeah.
That's another reason it's too slow, because it'll be nighttime and I'll be like, well, it's black yarn, so I can't see it very well.
Yeah.
Well, but now you're like such a pro on the carp pattern that you could probably maybe knit it in the dark now, because you're like, oh yeah, love twist, right twist.
I also kept making the mistake of taking it to my local yarn store during social knitting and thinking I could do social knitting and the chart, and then I'd get home and like have to go back like all the way and re-knit it. But
why we need multiple knitting projects. You've heard me say it before, but
yeah.
That's like
Ask what local shop that is.
Great Yarns in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay, yeah, I live in Wake Forest.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I head over there pretty frequently during the week just to kind of sit and knit.
That's nice.
That's great.
I like to have something to take, like when you're sitting in the doctor's office, you're waiting for the doctor. So today I took my muscle burrow.
Yes.
And now I'm working on a sweater for my husband.
Nice.
Wow, you've got things going.
Oh, I always have stuff going. I have so many things going. This is the pattern.
Oh, look at that. And the yarn is beautiful.
And I have the back up here. No, it's downstairs. The back is done. So this is the front. and I'm twisted somehow, but
nice. What's the yarn, Teresa?
it is Galway Highland, I think it's called. It's sort of like hang on a second, I have copy. I have some up here.
While we're waiting, who on this Zoom is joining us for the next knit along?
Looking forward to it.
I'm
The
knitting
only one I haven't done was last year's shift cowl, and I feel so left out.
Oh no.
So I can't. I keep thinking, oh, I'll do one so I can say that I did it. Not with y'all, but
I'm doing my next Carbeth for pullover.
Nice.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to concentrate on that.
Perfect.
There you go. So my yarn is, this is the older version of it, but it's Galway Highland Heather. It's a Plymouth.
Oh, pretty.
Okay.
Nice.
I knew it was like, I was like, what is it the equivalent to in like Barocco, but I can't remember what Barocco has. It's like this, they have one. But I bought this 20 years ago. And I was going through Yarn Stash, and we have a thrift store, a woman I work with, she runs a thrift store. And if I find yarn in my stash, I know I'm not doing anything with, I give it to her for the thrift store. And I was getting ready to thrift this, and my husband's like, I like that. And I'm like, okay. And I had bought the pattern for it all those years ago too. So it's like a win-win.
Looks like a classic pattern. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice. It is all in pieces though. So it's a, front and back and then sleeves, but that's okay.
Are the sleeves raglan or?
No, they're not.
They're set in.
Yeah. Yeah. They're set in sleeve. Yeah. That's going to be an interesting challenge because I haven't done that in a long time. I made a sweater for my father that's very similar to this years ago, and they didn't have the right size for him on here. So I did the math to make him a sweater. It was 4 sizes too big.
Oh no.
I even put it on my biggest friend that I have, and he's a big man. Like, he's tall and he's big, right? Put him on him, and it was huge. So I just took the whole thing out, started all over again. And I used the largest size in the pattern, and it fit. I should have done it that way the first time.
Oh my word.
Because it's not like, when you're working with small yarn, it takes a while.
Right.
It does.
Not like these things went together so quickly because you got big yarn.
Chunky. Yeah.
Bigger needles,
Yes.
So after our cowl, what's coming next?
Oh wow, you're getting ahead, aren't you, Judy?
I might have the sweater done.
We have selected a pattern, but we are not going to announce it yet. And I have to get, as soon as I'm done with my soul warmer, I'm going to get on with knitting, starting that one, so I can kind of get ahead of it. But it's something that we've been looking at, a designer we've been admiring for a while, and I can tell you it will be a short sleeve tee style, because heading into summer and all that.
Well, I'll just keep looking forward to the emails.
You'll see the emails. You will. Yep. We have so much fun picking the patterns, but it's also really hard. Like, it's hard because I think, we want something that will have broad appeal. We want something that can be modifiable. We want something that has lots of sizes for folks. We want to find the right amount of challenge so that people are like, oh yeah, I'm learning something new with these knit alongs each time, but that's not too crazy.
Yeah.
It's, but I think a lot about it, and it's kind of fun to do the research. But I'll be like, "Ooh, look at this one," and then it's like, "Oh, but did you see this part of it? Oh, no, that's not a good, or oh, this is great. Dang, there's only 6 sizes. That's not gonna work, So
when will that one get announced, Iris? Do you know?
We will. Yeah, we haven't set a date for the announcement, but I think that it's likely going to be like in April, May. So we may just like roll right into it after the March, or we might take just a little bit of a breather between. I haven't really totally confirmed, but I think it will be an April, May situation.
I'll be looking for that one.
Oh, good. Oh, good. We get so busy in the summer, and there's the yarn cruise that happens in Maine that a lot of states do, where you get to, you do the shop hop around the state. And so we end up with tons of
yarn cruise.
It's so fun. And, people, a lot of weekend activity and for that. And it's fun to meet, knitters from all over the state. And some people like do it as part of their vacation, which is super fun.
We have a good
Teresa
time.
and I.
Travel. Yeah.
Iris, I wanted to share. I am finally almost at the point where I can put it all together.
Yay!
Hooray!
I just
love it.
And here's why I was slowed down. The third and final.
Oh, my goodness.
Done.
That's great.
I
Oh my
had
goodness.
3 monkey hats, and they really slowed me down quite a bit.
But 3 little monkeys.
I'm not a fast knitter anyway, but I'm trying to be very disciplined because I have yarn and yarn and more yarn because I decided that I'm gonna make some cowls for gifts. So and some of this
Wait, Jennifer, hold on. You have to tell about the monkey hat story because it's just so cute.
I love the monkey hats.
So I wanted to make a monkey hat for a 5-year-old grandson. His father is my 35-year-old son. So I sent a text to my son and I said, hey, if I make a monkey hat for Lucas, and can I make one for you too? Would you wear it? And I got an instant response. Yes. So I made a monkey hat for the 5-year-old, a monkey hat for the 35-year-old, and then Mom heard about it. Hence the third monkey hat. So I made this is the first time I ever made a girl version with the eyelash. And it's a little crooked. Like they're silly, so I don't care. So they're really easy and a really good stress release because with my knitting, I'm much fussier. If I find a mistake, I'm going all the way back and fixing it. I do not let it go. But with crochet, it's just like, whatever. So
it's a monkey hat,
Yeah. Have a little, live a little.
I'm gonna see them this weekend, so I'm gonna miss the kickoff. But I will be taking the monkey hat in person to deliver the third one. So if I don't get pictures from my son before then, I'm going to make them wear them while I'm there.
You better get pictures because we want to see those monkeys.
Yeah.
Well, and congratulations on getting your Carbeth to that beautiful spot of the sleeves.
Yeah, I'm going to remeasure and just make sure that it's really long enough because I might even like put it aside for a day. And then I still have my Shudik Bay behind me, which is I really slowed down on that, but I went and got this yarn and decided to do it as a fade. So I'm excited about picking this back up again. And if I can't pick it up fast, I won't be able to. Oh, here it is. I don't know if you can see the color.
I keep holding it up. Just hold it still for a second. Let it focus. Oh, wow.
Pretty.
Wow. So it's going to have, and then it's going to get even lighter further up at the top.
Beautiful.
And I wasn't sure about the stitch definition showing with all the colors, but once it's blocked, I know it will because I saw this yarn when I was traveling to visit family, and the dyer that sells it had examples, and I think it'll be fine once, especially once it's blocked. It'll really be able to see.
Beautiful colors.
It is so pretty.
Yeah, and I'll be able to wear it. It'll match everything, or it won't match anything. So it'll just be fine.
Well, I think the soul warmer is, it's such a fun little knit. I kind of like, I'm working on something else too, but I'm really enjoying it. I think it'll be a fun little palette cleanser of a project. I can definitely see people wanting, like you were saying, Jennifer, making some for gifts, because it's a little of this, little of that. You're not bored. You move through it. And we're supposed to get more on the round restock, because everybody went wild for the mini skeins, the sets, and the singles. So we're supposed to be getting that hopefully by the end of this week. But just today we got a new product, which is some Manos del Uruguay mini sets. We've not carried Manos. It's a great yarn, of course. A lot of you may know it. Let me see if I can pull that up. And before we wind up our Zoom, I can give you a little eye candy here. Let's see.
This is the in plastic, even. It's still beautiful. This is the plush on the round. Is that what it's called? But I got this with all the speckles, and I got the full skein, but I'm going to use it in several different cowls.
Oh, cool. All right, let me share the screen and then we'll get off here pretty soon. But yeah, they just arrived. And so there's 5. So you need like a 6 color, but oh my God, can you believe these colors?
Nice. Oh, how pretty.
Some autumnal, some really like saturated blues, more neutrals. I know. So bright rainbows. I love it. So there's a little bit of silk in it too, which is kind of nice. But anyway, so there's that, which is exciting. Always love to try out some new yarns. And I think the mini skeins are such a great way for people to experience it too. See whether you like it. Let's drive. Well, it's a little after 6, and this has been an amazing knit along as always. When Chris and I first started talking about these knit alongs and whether we should try one and whether we should have a Zoom. And it's just been so amazing to see the community grow in our shop and here in this online space. And like Brenda said, and Jill, both of you are local, and Jennifer, but it's just, for whatever reason, sometimes it's nice to just pop in on the Zoom, and we so appreciate your participation. It's really fantastic. And we obviously wouldn't be doing this without you, but it warms our hearts. We learn stuff. We love seeing the connections build. And so you guys are just all awesome.
You guys are pretty awesome.
So are you. That's right.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's such a jolly little shop. I just love coming in.
Yeah.
Yes. It is. And this online space is pretty jolly too. And I just love, all the wisdom that we can share with each other. It's amazing. So we do hope we'll see you for another knit along, either this one or in a future one. And in the meantime, congratulations on your Carbeth knitting, and enjoy wearing it, and happy making.
And
happy spring, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Iris.
Thank you so much. Be in touch if you have questions about anything.
Okay.
Then just be in touch. Right.
Yeah. Bye,
all right. Take
Bye,
care.
everyone.
Have a good night.